Hello. I went the other day to an exhibition at Tate Modern by Philip Guston. He wasn't an artist I'd heard of, and I only went because the friend I was spending the day with wanted to go, but I was delighted that I had been. It's a powerful exhibition. He was an American painter during the 20th century, living at a time of great turmoil in the States and in the world. And his paintings, although there are a number of different phases in his career, for quite a part of it, he is dealing with the problem of the violence and suffering that is caused in the world by evil. One of his written statements that made me identify with him was where he said the war in Vietnam, which was going on at the time, what was happening in America, the brutality of the world. What kind of man am I, he says, sitting at home, reading magazines, going into a frustrated fury about everything, and then going into my studio to adjust a red to a blue. He's expressing there, I think, some of the helplessness that most of us feel when we look around at a world of violence and horror and can do practically nothing about it and just carry on doing our ordinary everyday business as though it wasn't happening. And that's difficult and hard, I think, particularly when really brutal things such as is going on at the moment in the Middle East occur. But the other thing about this exhibition, the other picture I wanted to particularly draw to your attention is a self-portrait. But actually it's a self-portrait painted on top of another picture. He was of Jewish background, and so the Ku Klux Klan, which was quite prominent in the part of America where he lived growing up, which was hostile not only to black people but also to Jews, was a symbol of the horror and the threat of evil. And he did a lot of paintings of Ku Klux Klan people. He says at one point that he would like to get inside their skin and try and understand what it was that made them have those attitudes and behave in those evil ways. But in this self-portrait that he does of himself, it's a painting on the top of another painting. The original painting was of a Ku Klux Klanman, but he's obliterated that with white paint and then painted his own quite simple self-portrait, as if to say that the evil that is in a Klansman is hidden in himself deep down. And I think that recognition that there is part of in all of us just something of the evil that dominates in some people's lives and leads them to do terrible things to each other. The evil that makes ordinary people behave in very violent ways when given permission to by warfare. This kind of aspect of humanity that is profoundly disturbing and is actually probably part of all of us, even if it's quite deep within us. It's quite a worrying and distressing thought, and it's just distressing to know that the people who are perpetrating some of the violent things that go on in our world are people like us. They are human beings, and there is some kind of sense of being part of that wickedness, even though with our heads and our hearts we would completely disown it. We have to recognise that the people who are doing those things are just human beings like we are. And I think that's a frightening thought, an important thought, and a humbling thought for today.